All right. Well, I feel like I'm going to explode right now because I'm Christopher Zweig and I'm speaking with Mark O'Brien, the star of Ready or Not, and the director and star of his latest feature, The Voices of Our Mother. Mark, thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for asking. Okay, let's get started. This is your second feature directing job, and you've directed short films as well. How are you able to broaden your skills as an actor and filmmaker?
I think he's just doing it. I think the more you do it, the more you learn. The more you learn about yourself, the more you learn what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and your vibe. And I think it's like anything. Yeah, the more you do it, um, the more you also start to love it and realize why sometimes you might not like it. And I think it's just like having relationships. It's just over and over. You do that again, and you live through it, and you find out a bit more about yourself.
Oh, yes. You know, when I started watching this movie, I didn't see a trailer as a gimmick I've learned from my, like my grandpa, rest his soul. But I still wanted to see where it was going. Like, I knew it was a horror movie and I wanted to know more about it. I know it also involves family drama and demonic possessions and what these people have done that pushes the horrors further. How are you able to develop on these characters?
Um, I think you always kind of draw from personal experience to some degree. Um, and then your imagination kind of takes over, and as you're writing more and more, the ideas develop as the plot goes forward. And I think growing up in a with a lot of siblings, it kind of made a lot of sense to me. And also I've had dementia in my life. My grandmother had dementia, and so seeing what that does, and I just saw a great link between dementia and possession. And I think that that's kind of fascinating because it's true. You're speaking in a voice that's kind of not yours to a certain degree, which, clearly is harkens back to the title of the film, but then also playing with those conceptions and kind of subverting it.
Oh, yes. Well, yes, like I especially like the way it's saying like you're mine and no one else's over and over again. So I'm like, where is this going? So I gotta keep watching. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a through line that was so important to me because, you know, when you have a child, you do feel like no one else can understand like the love I have for them or whatever, but that also could be subverted too into meaning something different. And that's kind of where the movie goes with that and how the roles kind of reverse in a certain way and it can be a burden to have someone that's yours and no one else's.
Oh yes, that's so true. Now you got a nice cast right here. You got Sheila McCarthy. Is that the name? Did I say it right?
Yep. Yep.
And you got a yes, a lot some of these actors I haven't heard of yet, but I like to get to know more of them in the future or so, and I'm glad I got to know them right here. I mean, I know Sheila was in The Day After Tomorrow. That was one of the movies I've seen her in or so. But what's it like working with these actors, and what have you learned from them?
You learn a lot from every actor, I think, because every actor performs differently and every actor takes direction differently, and every actor like has their own process. So I think it's really invaluable to work with different people all the time because you just learn so much. And these actors are all very different. So one of your jobs as a director is really getting everyone to understand the tone. It's like, what is the tone we're going for? Like, there's such a different tone from like a Noah Baumbach movie to a David Fincher movie to a Stanley Kubrick movie or to a Sean Baker movie. Like it's all uniquely different. So it's making sure everyone kind of understands the vibe and the feel. And I think when you're directing as well as acting, the best thing you can do is just be in the scene with them. So when I'm acting with the actors, they're I give them a bit of a starting point and then they kind of take over and I just kind of follow them at a certain point.
Oh, yes, so true. And another thing I liked about this movie is the color palettes. Like we get like shots of the dark red skies and a room that's like lit orange red or so. Like when one of the characters is waking up. Like
Yeah.
what's it like working with the color palettes and like who do you and like who set up the color? What's it like working with the color palettes and the people involved with them?
That's a huge part of the movie for me. And everything like the color, I kind of like when I'm an actor and I walk on set and it's just kind of like the color is just the color that was there that day. I kind of find it a bit uninspiring. So as a director, it's like the color means everything. In fact, I think almost every room in this movie was painted. Like we didn't just go with anything that was as is. It was very, very important. There's some aqua in the movie too. Like there's aqua in the scene in one of the scenes because I also wanted to harken back to kind of 70s movies and they use that color quite a lot, like Vittorio Storaro movies and Bernardo Bertolucci, they worked with that color quite a lot, and I thought that that was more of a calmer tone when they're coming together a bit more. Whereas there's a kind of a red orange in another room where it's like the infection is kind of starting between them, and like as we know, infections are red, and there's a red feeling in the sky. It's like it's not just happening to them. There's something in the universe that's shifting, and it's bleeding into their lives. So yeah, the color palette means everything to me, and we like diligently go through everything and why that color, why not that color. So yeah, it's very important to me, and there's symbolism behind I think almost every color in the movie, to be honest.
Well, yes. Well, I hope to see. Well, there's like, well, on Instagram, there's like a color palette page that celebrates like movies of that sort. And one of these days, I like to see this movie on one of them.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I think we have time for like one or two more questions. But so this movie is being distributed by Shudder and it premiered at Panic Fest. It's a low-budgeted horror movie, and I know there are moviegoers who appreciate the elevated horror genre on this scale. What do you make out of all this?
I think you can make movies for less than a lot of them being made today. And I think that's really been seen. I don't know when this is going to air, but this past weekend with Obsession and Backrooms, you have a movie made for $750,000, made over 150 million, and Backrooms made for 10, and it's made 120 million. Like that's crazy. But it's because they're good stories. And I think part of the reason that, people feels like there's a contraction in filmmaking these days, it's because it's everyone's spending too much and you're trying to package a movie with 7 or 8 big movie stars and it's is the story good is what matters. And I have no problem shooting a movie like that. I shot this in 15 days. Like that's most people would want 30. And it's like to me, it's like, no, I can do it. Let's do it. If that's what it takes to get it done, then let's get it done. And to me, that's your job as a director is to be able to get the movie made and respect the timeline that was given. So I actually embrace it a lot, and I actually don't think I need more because if you give to get as a director, if I give up a few days, that means I get more later. It means the movie gets made. It might mean that we have more money for visual effects or whatever. So I think you have to be conscious of all those things. But I think that the world of making movies, every movie has to be like $80 million to me is kind of like silly.
Well, yes, it's like it's the art that you bring to it that's more valuable than money itself. And to answer your question, I believe this movie comes on Shudder in a few weeks or so. So I'll be reminding people to see this movie. Well,
Great.
well, Mark, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate you. I've been following your work for years, and I wish you the best of luck on your next projects.
Thank you so much. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too. I'll see you at the movies.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Chris.